Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break. I apologize for how long it was, but there was a late game going on. There was a late game between MaxPax and Cure. Went the distance. MaxPax did take down Cure 2-0, and that means we have our first semi-finals match. It is going to be Dark versus MaxPax in a best of 3. ZVP. Let's go. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you think this series will unfold, on who you think advances on to the grand finals. Will it be the Zerg or the Protoss? Good luck predicting. Predictions open. As we dive into this, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the red Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. DKZ. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, hailing from the land of Denmark, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. The Zerg versus Protoss is upon us, and we've been patiently waiting, lying in wait towards Dark as well, just ruminating over this series. Again, still a little bit upset that he never got to face off against Hero in the earlier round, but as well warmed up. The drone, it was hiding here on the right hand side, is going to be dipping in, and Dark does manage to get his expansion on location. Very cheeky move there from Dark. It does mean that his expansion is a little bit later, but is on location nonetheless. Meanwhile, we have a hatch block. Let's go. The proxy hatches here as well. It's going to be a double hatch opener. We saw this against Nightmare. So to reiterate, especially if you weren't here for the quarterfinals match, Dark is very fond of going for these proxy hatches just to disrupt the economy. You can see that a lot of boys are pulled, 7 workers in total, alongside a Zealot, just to deal with this proxy hatch. We should be forcing a cancel, and Dark should be getting the hell into the main. But again, this is just a way to deal economic damage to the Protoss early on. Just a way to delay the expansion and disrupt the mining. Oh, as we do stick around a little bit longer, trying to delay that Nexus for as long as possible. Again, behind this, Dark does have a delayed gas geyser and a delayed spawning pool. So this is not without its cost, but again, he can get away with this. He's going to be droning up as much as he can, looking to take, oh, going straight into a third even. Oh my god, this is a little bit greedy out of Dark. Racing into that third. Cutting quite a lot of corners here, as we do see MaxPax pushing out. Now, MaxPax, he was forced to make a Zealot, so going to be sending that Zealot across the map. Adept is on the way thereafter. It's going to be on Dark to minimize his losses, to minimize his damage, before he, without losing too much here to these units that were forced out by the Protoss. It isn't just one Zealot and one Adept. We have another Adept on the way behind this, about to rock up. Dark, he's got Lings in production, Queens in production as well. There's going to be a tight hold. We'll see if MaxPax can kill a drone. He heads towards that natural, and it looks like he is gonna be able to not get a drone. Barely. Lings are facing off against those Zealots, trying to buy some time. The Queens do pop out. Another drone under fire. Oh, we do get one worker kill, and we can maybe get a second. Oh, the Spore a little bit too late there. This is it. This is actually pretty intense damage here already. 2 workers going down this early on. Good damage here from MaxPax, and he's not done. We have a second Adept as well. 2 Adepts do one-shot drones, and we'll see if we can pick off any more workers. Now we do have a decent amount of Lings available. We have our Queens that are amassing. Dark is in a much more secure position behind this Stargate opener, not into an Oracle. Stargate into a Void Ray from MaxPax. Okay, what do you have in store for us? So the power behind this opener is that this Void Ray is going to shut down this Overlord, and then behind this we can go in any direction we can. Meanwhile, we do have the Adepts getting into the main. 3 drones going to be going down. Oh my god. Can we get a 4th? We can. 4 dead workers here. Dark losing a little bit too much. He's down to 22 drones, and he has to recover. He has a lot of recovering to do, actually. MaxPax sitting pretty here on a solid worker count. Now, the drone did confirm the Void Ray first, so we are aware of at least that. It's going to be Void Ray into Oracle. What's important is that this should be leading into a 3rd base, but after this, this can go into double Stargate, this can go into Glaive Adepts, and there it is. We have a Twilight Council before Nexus. Very aggressive follow-up here. This screams Glaive Adepts out of MaxPax. And this is a really good way to punish Dark, because Dark, he's droning. He's stuck making workers back at home. He doesn't have a standing army. He doesn't have the resources for a Roachhorn, doesn't have the resources for Lings. He's just droning as much as he can, so Glaive Adepts can catch Dark off guard. Now, Dark is aware that this is a possibility. Dark, he saw the Void Ray. The Void Ray did reveal itself, and this is a very common transition off of a Void Ray opener. It isn't confirmed by any means, it isn't 100%, but I'm sure it's in the back of Dark's mind. He knows that this is a possibility. Oracle comes in, gets another drone. Oh, getting a second worker here between the bases. Dark still just amassing nothing but Lings, sorry, nothing but drones. We do have an Evo Chamber. This is going to be for +1 melee, so it looks like Dark is going to be delaying his Roach Warren, and that's a little bit concerning. This fast Evo Chamber means that we're probably not going to go to Roach Warren anytime soon. Without Roaches, it's going to be a tight hold. It's going to be a very tough defense here for Dark, defending with purely Lings and Banelings, assuming that he throws down a Baneling list. Meanwhile, MaxPax is getting his third base up and running. As a reminder, this is not all in at a MaxPax. It is just a way to cripple the economy of Dark. And there we go. Adepts are morphing in. At the same time, Oracle gets across the map. We get another 2 drones here at the third base. Void Ray finding damage here on the right-hand side. Trying to get eyes on the fourth. There's that Roach Warren now in production. 6-minute Roach Warren here from Dark. It is delayed, but it is on the way. Now, the reality is that these Adepts are going to have to be defended with purely Lings for quite some time. The Adepts have been spotted. Lings are in production. 24 Lings are on the way. Can Dark hold? Because how many Adepts do we have? 13 Adepts have hit the field with Oracles and Void Race to support. Queen already taking a lot of damage. Reinforcements have arrived. But Adepts, they're threatening shades all over the place. We have Adepts into the third base. We have Adepts here towards the natural. Lings try to keep up, but the Adepts, they just mow through the Lings. You have a decent round here. 4 drones going down this third base under fire. And the Adepts, they shade into the main. And Lings just having a really hard time keeping up. Looks like we will eventually get on top of these Adepts, but that is 10 workers going down. And from here, Dark may just be forced all in. Dark, he's down to 41 workers. He's down 20 drones compared to his opponent. I'm sure Dark is aware. I'm sure Dark is fully aware just how behind he is. And we'll see how he decides to recover from here. Does he drone, or does he double down for an all-in? Adepts, they do recall back home. We do have the third base getting fully up and running, and we need to do something about this third, or the natural, or the economy in some way, shape, or form. But we have sentries, we have force fields. There is no touching this Nexus. Dark has to back off. And Dark is taking gas as he's droning. This is a brutal decision here, but Dark also doesn't really have the economy to sustain it all in, so he's going to be droning up a little bit. I expect Dark to cut workers at around 55. I expect Dark to cut workers early and just go for pure Ling Roach Ravager. At this point, I think a longer game is not really on the table. It's not really available here for Dark. Behind this, +1 and Blink is on the way here for MaxPax. He's pushing towards the left-hand side. Baliness is on the way. Dark not quite ready for this. His Lings are out of position. Force fields are thrown down. Lings coming in from behind, trying to get a force around. The Queens are holding strong, and we are getting on top of this army. We're at least trying to. We get on top of the Immortal at least. The Immortal does go down, but the Adepts, they shade into the natural. They get into the mineral line. There are barely any drones to begin with. We have Stalkers on the front lines. Blink isn't done. Blink is not done. Darky's holding. He only loses 2 drones. Only 2 workers here at the natural. Impressive defense. I'll be honest. I expected a lot more damage, but only 2 workers go down, and Dark mainly trades out Lings. Yeah, that was mainly Lings going down. Only 1 Queen has fallen so far. Void Ray is caught out, and Dark is counterattacking. Here we go. Now it's Dark's time to shine. The downside is that in a couple of seconds, Blink and +1 will finish, so MaxPax has a pretty formidable force here. Not just with Stalkers, but also with Colossi. Rocks are being knocked down. Dark is resaturating. He is droning. I do think he can drone just because he won a fight. Like, because he was able to take a pretty good fight overall, and this 4th base is delayed. Dark, he can recover. I would still give MaxPax the edge, but Dark is not out of this yet. Things were looking a lot more dire like 2 minutes ago. Like 2 minutes ago before the fight, I was like, yo, this is not looking good. We got it all in, Papi. But after that fight, things, you know, things looking a little bit better here. As we have the Prism diving into the main base. Ooh, getting quite a lot of damage dealt by those queens. And if they do shade into the middle line, another 2 drones go down. Meanwhile, the main force of MaxPax clearing up a lot of this creep. Adepts towards the 4th. Shading in, getting even more drone kills. This looks like a bit of an overextension, but we have a Colossus. Yeah, with the Colossus, we can clean up these Lings. Overextension from Dark. Gets a couple of Stalkers, but at a cost. And MaxPax is slowly going to get this 4th base up and running. Now, this entire time, MaxPax has had a worker lead, but we'll see if he can actually hold on to that 4th. We'll see if Dark can make something magic happen here. As this time he's ready for the fight. This time he doesn't have to worry about harassment. As I say that, Prism comes into the main, but Dark, he has eyes on this. Okay, good deflection from Dark. Again, he's waiting for MaxPax to push onto creep. Link's harassing towards the bases, getting eyes on the mineral lines. Getting eyes on the bases. And Dark, he is cutting drones here at 70. That's full base saturation. Pretty good. The Miles! Oh my god. Dark, he wants to get rid of this goddamn Prism. But again, Dark cutting workers at full base saturation. Banelings, they do crash into this 3rd base. Get 4 probe kills. We have Lings and Banelings being set up here on the right-hand side. Dark has map control, and MaxPax is taking a more defensive stance. Now, what I will say is that MaxPax's main army is becoming quite terrifying. Like, it's really building up. And Dark knows that. That's why right now he's just focusing on harassment. You have Banelings rolling into the 4th. More Ling Bane here towards the south. Stalkers are in position, and we're going to be able to deny these Banelings. Very nicely done here. At the same time, Stalkers towards the south as well. We are in position. We're going to be rolling into that mineral line. Up! We are stopped. And we do not get in. At the same time, we did have some Adepts harassing across the map with this War Prism. 4 drones go down. But Dark is maxing out. Now, bearing in mind that even though Dark is maxing, this is true, but he has a subpar army. He's stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager. Very kind of mid-tier army here. MaxPax, he's refining his army, working towards +3 additional Colossi, eventually Disruptors. So Dark is on a timer, but he's looking to get us around. He's trying to collapse on this army. Links from behind into the mineral line. The Colossi are distracted. Bailing's rolling in, but Stalkers are in position. Good reaction out of MaxPax. He does pull away. Oh, can we get in? We can! 18 probes go down. Dark, he's getting damage done. Bailing's once again getting into the mineral line, and we are crippling the economy. 25 probes fall. But what about the main army? Wilds connect. And Lings, they're still harassing you. They get into the middle line for a second time. MaxPax is being pulled apart. We deny the warp and we shut down the 4th. And MaxPax, he can counterattack, he can push, but no, he turns back around. This is what Dark was waiting for. This is what he desperately needed. He needed to get into 1 mineral line and he got into 2. That's 32 dead workers. We depower some of the production. And now MaxPax, the pressure is on him to push. And Dark, he has had time to rebuild. Now, he hasn't had time to make Banelings. That's the issue here. Just Ling Roach Ravager, which is okay. Not too bad. MaxPax, though, pushing out with 3 Colossi. And yeah, MaxPax, he sees the army. He does think better of it. He backs off. And Dark is in this. He's very much so back in this. Zealot run back coming in. Ling's going to be able to respond. They're going to be able to defend. We'll deal with these zealots. Bearing in mind, Dark doesn't have an infestation bit, he doesn't have a hive. So +3 is finishing up MaxPax, getting ahead in those upgrades. Dark's still very much on lair tech, and hasn't drawn up more than 70. That's how Dark was able to pull that off, just staying on a low worker count, on a low tech army as well. Oof. But this Colossi count, we're up to 4 Colossus. We catch some of these Ravagers as well. At the same time, the Lings go for a big counterattack as well. We're trying to force the army back, but MaxPax, he's not turning around. He's pushing on through, getting on top of the Roach Ravager, and it looks like MaxPax, he has too much. He's breaking this army. Lings are harassing, but GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Yeah, one of those things where Dark was doing a great job harassing, yes, but he could never engage with the main army. He could never fight toe-to-toe with MaxPax. And MaxPax knew that. Like, Dark was desperately trying to make MaxPax turn back around, go back home, give him time. And MaxPax did snowball out of control, and now we're getting into game number 2. Game numero dos here. And this was a brutal game just because from the beginning, Dark was behind, essentially. From the very beginning, from the onset, he was losing far too many drones to the Adept Harass, then eventually from the Glaive Adepts as well. The opener of Dark was not successful. Dark's opener, of course, the proxy hatchery did delay his lings, his gases, his queens, and MaxPax took full advantage of him. And I'm hoping that Dark doesn't do that again. I think he has very quickly realized that this kind of hatch block that he's been going for is not going to be working against MaxPax. And really, it put Dark behind, not ahead. So again, the tone was kind of set when it came to by the openers, essentially, and how successful or unsuccessful they were. And it was just a really hard, really difficult for Dark to recover from that. Here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Hardlead, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Leading the series 1-0, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing CranKy Gaming. DKZ, it is Dark. We go. MaxPax coming in with his probe scouts. Dark this time not moving out with the drone. Drone should be looking to take the unnatural natural. We should be seeing a much more standard opener. Again, to reiterate about the previous game, I don't expect Dark to go for a hatch block here in game 2 or game 3 if we go to the ace match. Based on what happened in game 1, it just wasn't really worth it. Didn't pay off for Dark, did hurt him more than anything, as he had a really hard time dealing with the early game aggression of MaxPax. But for now, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Dark. He is going to be taking a much more standard approach initially. And as we ease into this, Dark is a very aggressive player. He's a very aggressive player in this matchup, which is why he struggled so much in that last game. Like, usually Dark is the one in control of the pace of the game, setting the tempo of a ZVP, but because of the rough start, because of so many dead workers, he was just, yeah, never really had the economy to sustain himself. If he can get away with a better start to the game, we can see Dark really thrive. And on a map like Hardlead, this is Dark's map. This map is known for its aggression. For those that are curious, the rush distance by ground. Rush distance by ground is very short on Hardlead. We have seen many a Queen walk, many road troll lins on this map. And I know that MaxPax is known for his defense. That is true. He's known for his defensive prowess. But even against Dark on this map, MaxPax has fallen. He has died. So that is something to bear in mind, and something that I'm sure is in the back of MaxPax's mind as well, when it comes to what Dark has available to himself. Now, it's also a double-edged sword when it comes to how small this map is, and I was about to get into it, Twilight Council opener. Again, because of the rush distance by ground, an opener like Glaive Adepts or Dark Templar makes sense here, and you can actually achieve quite a bit with it. So we'll see what kind of direction we go in. We have pulled out of gas, Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts is going to be on the way. Now, what kind of variation? That's the important question here. There's the standard 4-gate Glaive Adepts with a Robo. There is also 3-gate Glaives into a fast third. There have been different kind of variations and different versions of Glaives that have been popping up these past couple of months. So we'll see which one we get. Do you know what I see? I see no Robo. There is no Robo with this. So this looks like the more economic variation, unless we throw one down. It's going to be 3-gate. 3-gate Glaive Adepts. Oh, but there is the Robo now on the way, so never mind. Robo is in production. We are going to be a little bit more committed with this. Now, what I was assuming this was, if we skip the Robo, we can actually afford a faster Nexus for a more economic, again, variation of this. But that is not going to be the case. We will still be committing to that Robo. Meanwhile, Dark has read this quite well. This is a 3-minute 45-ish Roach Warren timing, very early. Dark is fully aware that aggression is coming. Now, he doesn't know for certain if it's Dark Templar or Glaives. He's in the dark. Oh, we're doubling down. This is becoming an all-in. Oh my god, that is 3 more gates on the way. This is 6-gate Glaive S. We pull back into gas. We pulled back into gas. This is that much more aggressive. For those that are curious, the standard Glaive build is 4 gates. The economic one is 3, and this is 6. Basically all in. MaxPax doubling down. But again, thankfully Dark did get an early Roach Warren. Roaches are soon to be on the way. Queens are moving out. Spores are getting in position. Again, Dark still doesn't know if it's Dark Templar or not, so he needs these spores to make sure that DTs do not catch him off guard. The Adepts are going to be pushing. Again, with this Warp Prism, we can warp in 6 Adepts at a time. And that's something that I'm sure Dark is not expecting. He did cut workers early on at 41, which is good. We have 8 roaches on the way, but the roaches, they need time. Oh, Dark, he needs more time here to get out these roaches. The Adepts have arrived, and there are just far too many to engage. They're pushing through. They're getting into the mineral line, and Dark is going to be losing quite a bit already. It's going to be 5 workers going down. Roaches are arriving. But again, there are so many Adepts, and we get another big warp in into the main base. Only 5 dead workers so far, but that worker count, that kill count is getting higher and higher. We take control of the 3rd base, and with this amount of Adepts, we could even maybe kill the hatchery itself. Wings are looking to engage. Stalkers. Queen's trying to force us back as well. That much damage on the hatchery, oh my god. The Adepts are being forced back for now, but they're just consolidating themselves. They're all coming together, shading into the main. Pushing towards that 3rd, getting on top of the Queens as well. We have hit critical mass of Adept. We do commit to the shade. Roaches are waddling in. The Lings are getting annihilated. We're getting into the mineral line. The drones. Drones are going down once again. Good target firing there at a MaxPax. And Darky's down to 28 workers. He's lost already a bit too much. And behind this, MaxPax is expanding. He's transitioning into those Immortals. It looks like he's finally being cleaned up, but we're not done. It's not over because we have more Adepts shading towards the 3rd. And Dark is stuck on 1 base economy. He is down to 28 workers. Finally back up to mining here, or back mining in the main. Can he get the base? Yo, he wants it. He wants the hatchery. We gotta transfuse. We keep the base alive, thankfully. And MaxPax is gonna back off, but Dark is down to 27 workers. That was 18 dead drones there from the Glaive Adept harass. And behind this, MaxPax is expanding. He's working towards that next step. Immortal production well underway. MaxPax is under no threat of a counterattack right now. There's nothing that Dark can really do here to pressure this 3rd. He's stuck at home, re-droning, resaturating. He's licking his wounds. But MaxPax, he's not done. He's coming back immediately, this time with Immortals. He's going for the kill move. He's going for the kill shot. Adepts to support, Immortals to kill the roaches. And I don't know if Dark can really hold against this, I'll be honest. The Immortals, they do reveal themselves. They get on top of the roaches, so many of them going down already in an instant. And Immortals, they just chew through roaches. Queens are pushing forward as well. They're trying to get on top of the prism. The Immortals are exposed. Up. 1 Immortal goes down. We're going to get the 2nd Immortal as well. Whilst they will not connect. Oh my god, the Immortals barely saved. At the same time, we have Adepts in the bases. Getting a couple of drones. Oh, I say a couple. 6 workers go down. And we're not done. Oh god. Yeah, this is becoming too much here. The Glaive Adepts getting out of hand, getting out of control. And Dark down to 31 drones at this point. His economy still crippled. Does have a lair, doesn't have roach speed. Without roach speed, counterattacking is going to be difficult. And MaxPax is just happily saturated here on 3 bases. Fully saturated. We got the Stalkers that are amassing. Blink is on the way, +1 as well. We're getting out of Glaive Adepts into Blink Stalkers. It's going to take a little bit to really get into this. And we'll see how Dark pieces this together. And it looks like we're going for an all-in. Dark, he is completely all-in at this point. Dark does have a supply lead. It's all or nothing. Dark has to end the game here and now. File's going to be connecting. We do take down the shield battery. Ravager does fall, but it looks like Dark, he can break this third. Boys are being pulled. We get another big warp in. Roaches from behind. The Biles, they do connect. The Roaches are getting annihilated, though. They're being cleaned up by the Immortals. But it looks like Dark, he's barely pushing through. He takes down the mineral line. Takes out 15 probes. We're running out of Roaches, though. Dark, he is being forced back. The juggling by these Immortals. Here come the Ling reinforcements. We get one Immortal. 2 Immortals left. 2 Immortals are remaining. Ling reinforcements come in as well to help support, to help buffer. It looks like Dark, he has broken this third base. He has enough. He was forced all in. He had lost everything back at home when it came to his workers, but what does he have? He has the Roach, and that's all that matters. Oh my god. Files, they zone away those Immortals. This third base is going to be going down, and Dark is joining behind this. Now, Dark may not break the natural, but he has broken the third. Actually, he wants a little bit more. Does want a little bit more, and he will pile down that pylon just barely in time. Depowers the gateways. And can he break the natural as well? No shield batteries, by the way. No shield batteries are available. Dark breaking through the cyber core. He's running out of steam. Dark is running out of links here, so he has to be careful to lose his Ravagers. Files will connect. Dark backing up. And again, behind this, Dark, he's just been droning the entire time. He's been trying to saturate his bases. Lings are on the way, +1 melee as well. Dark is making a game out of this. Things are looking dire. Things are looking dark for Dark. But the counter all-in was enough. Was enough to even things up, at least a little bit more. Now, tech-wise, MaxPax still has a lead. He's got +1, he has Charge on the way alongside the Blink Stalkers, he has Templar Archives for Archons. Again, like tech-wise, MaxPax is still in a much better position, but economy-wise, Dark, he's recovered. He's drawn up to 49, soon to be 50. Roach Speed, I'm sure, is going to be soon on the way. He's getting another hatchery. Oh, that's going to be a cancel, though, on that base. But really, all that MaxPax can do is harass. Harass with this prison. And Dark, he should be able to recover. Walls are being forced back. Again, good juggling here, good value from MaxPax. He's just being as annoying as possible. Dark expanding on the right-hand side instead. It may be worth for Dark to double expand, but it may just be a little bit too greedy just because of the road to this kind of game state. We're still lacking gases. Roach Speed's still on the way. MaxPax marauding around, and he's getting his third up and running as well. So we have a game on our hands. We have 3 base versus 3 base, which again, I still want to give the edge to MaxPax. But Dark isn't droning. Bear that in mind. Dark, he's amassing a second wave of attack. He's making nothing but Roaches, Ravagers, and Lings. He is not droning. He droned up to like essentially just under a 3 base economy here. 48 drones. It's not really much. But Dark, he's running into Archons. Can he pull this off? No shield batteries. No overcharge. No shield batteries. No overcharge. Dark going to be collapsing in this position. The Biles, can they connect? They will. They do rain down on those Archons. But the Lings, they're getting cleaned up as well. Archons are going to be going down. But Dark is being forced back. The Immortals, they've arrived. There's 3 Immortals. 3 Immortals with the army. Dark drawing out the army here into the center of the map. Lings are coming in to reinforce. Dark has to retreat. And again, Dark, he's still not making drones. There we go. One drone is on the way. A second. Let's go. The Hydrogen, looks like Dark is backing up. Okay, he realizes that he cannot break his opponent. Too many Archons. Honestly, if it wasn't for the Archons, then Dark may have been able to kill MaxPax here and now. The Archons did so much, cleaning up so many of those Lings. 153 Lings have died this game. But those Archons were kind of the MVP there. And with that, MaxPax he holds, and Dark has to back off and drone. And he was forced to cancel his 4th base earlier. He was forced to cancel earlier, so Dark still doesn't have the best economy. Doesn't have the best position. This is still anyone's game. MaxPax is working on his 4th, while Dark is still droning his 4th. So still a very tense moment. Still very tense. I'm loving the addition of these Hydras. It may be worth working towards Lair Tech Lurkers. It may be worth it here, just to stabilize. But we're already getting Immortal production well underway. We already have 4, soon to be 5 Immortals, and Immortals they can do well against a low amount of Lurkers. Storm in production. Dark once, like, he's so wild. So Dark, once again, remember earlier he droned up to 48, then he cut workers, then he went for a second all-in. Now he's cutting workers at 58, sub 3 base economy, and he's maxing out, or he's trying to max out with Ling, Roach, Ravager, Hydra. Like, Dark has a very low worker count, but look at the supply. Dark is maxing. He's going for, what is this, the 3rd all-in of the game? Very committed here. He needs to at least trade well with the army, or ideally kill MaxPax here and now. Hydra's, ooh, without speed of getting caught out. An expensive loss there for Dark. He is trying to come in from behind. Hydra's are getting caught out. Lings are coming in to reinforce. Good kiting here against the Zealots. Good kiting against these Archons. MaxPax, he's kind of getting surrounded here. He's bleeding out a little bit too much. Here we go. It's all or nothing for Dark. He does catch an Immortal. Immortal does go down. Overcharge is about to run out as well. Dark's still trying to collapse on this army. How many High Templar do we have? 1 High Templar. Storm is about to finish, but MaxPax will only have 1 Storm available. He has to make it count. He has to make it count here as Dark. He consolidates his army, knocks down the Rooks. Dark still refusing to drone, still staying at 58 workers. And we're pushing. Wild's going to be raiding down on the army, forcing back MaxPax. There's that first Storm. In a couple of seconds, we'll have a second Storm. We need a little bit more time. The army has to retreat. The base under fire. Dark, he's gaining ground. He is gaining ground here, but that's a lot of Immortals. The Storm does connect on the Hydras. Big Storms here. And those are the only 2 Storms left. But the base has been broken. The Lings and reinforcers, they're getting on top of the army. It's only the Immortals remaining, and the Immortals on their own, they don't cut it. They don't cut it. Not anymore. And Dark, has he done it? Has he pulled it off? We have Zealot reinforcements coming in. MaxPax, he holds. MaxPax does barely hold on, cleans up the army. That was an expensive loss for Dark, but we have Ling reinforcements, and with these reinforcements, we can clean this up. We have more than enough. Lings are really what we've been missing. Dive on top of those Immortals. High Templar coming in. Archons being morphed in as well. Roaches that do get left behind. MaxPax, he does hold on. Now, bearing in mind, MaxPax did lose his 4th base, did lose his 4th Nexus, but the Archons have arrived, which means we have the answer to those Lings. It's a pretty robust army. Dark is backing off. He's droning up a little bit more. Droning up to 60. Hydra's on the way. Okay, this is a very scrappy game. Just because of the low economy of Dark, like, this is very much so on a knife's edge. This could go either way. MaxPax pushing up the ramp with a very high quality army, keeping so many Immortals alive. There's a big Storm. That was the only Storm left. Templar trying to get on top of this, but we're running out of Lings, running out of Roaches. The Hydras, they are exposed. Expensive losses there for Dark. He wants that Prism, but he will not get it. It was so close. The Prism does survive. The Warpin finishes. The Zealots, they make it through, and it looks like MaxPax. We do have reinforcements on the way. We have to kite as best we can. Good kiting here. Good stutter stepping with those Hydras. Zealots are going down. And we are down to 2 Immortals left here. 2 Immortals, 1 Archon, and a Gateway army. Zealot does get into the main. Does get a lot done. But MaxPax, unfortunately, he has run out of his high-tech units. He lost most of his Immortals, lost most of his Archons. Dark should have enough here. As I say that, yeah, reinforcements from behind. We're getting a full surround. Dark, he collapses on this army, and it looks like Dark has finally done it here. We are getting an ace match. We're looking to go all the way to game 3. GG gets called, and Dark ties it up 1-1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Whew. We have tied things up here. A very close game there. Again, Dark, it was a really rough start. The initial 6 Gate Glaive Adepts did so much damage to Dark, killed 18 drones. It set him behind, and he was forced all in. And with that all in, he was able to break the 3rd base and start to even things up. Things got very chaotic, very close, very scrappy. But it's everything we wanted out of MaxPax versus Dark, because we have an ace match. That's all I wanted. We're going all the way to game number 3. Here we go. Here we go. I don't see how MaxPax is doing so much damage to Dark's economy the whole game, and then this one attack just got him entirely back in the game. Kind of. The first attack that did break the 3rd base of MaxPax was enough to even things up a little bit, but again, basically Dark was forced all in. Like, MaxPax had forced Dark's hand. That was the only option, the only way back in for Dark. And MaxPax just wasn't ready for it. He had no stack defense at his 3rd base, no shield batteries. He had just a really awkward setup as well when it came to his positioning at that 3rd. Dark barely able to make that happen. And remember, even after that 3rd base fell, it was still I was still giving the edge to MaxPax. MaxPax still had a lead. It took a little bit more than that for things to eventually turn in favor of Dark, and part of that was also MaxPax being a little bit too greedy. Something that maybe I should have emphasized a little bit more is that Dark continued to stay on a very low drone count. Even when he droned, it would only be like 5 or 6 workers at a time, and then back into mass army. Like, Dark was very all in the entire time. It was crazy. It was very tense, very tense. But here we go, we're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Being forced into the ace match, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing DragonKy Gaming, DKZ, forcing the ace match, fighting back in that last game, it is Dark. We go. So what I should also emphasize as well, it isn't just that Dark, of course, was very all in for the entire game, essentially. It's that there were times where, as we're going for a hatch block once again, I'm not in love with this, but okay. Have the hatch block. What I was going to say is that it isn't just that Dark was going all in, it's also that MaxPax was lured into a false sense of security and believed that Dark was going for a longer game. As Dark was backing off and not droning, MaxPax was making workers. He was, taking his forward base as well. If you remember, even after losing 18, around 18 probes, I think MaxPax still even had a worker lead, which was crazy. Like, again, just goes to show, like, how all in Dark was. And MaxPax was maybe, again, not anticipating how committed Dark was behind him. I'm pretty sure the second max out with the Hydra Roach, where we were trying to surround the army, I think that max out did surprise MaxPax in a way. Wasn't really expecting as large of an army from Dark. Again, that's kind of another layer that comes into StarCraft, is the mind games, is kind of, in a way, incomplete information, and what you use with that's how you kind of perceive the game state. And if you're able to get away with certain things, whether it's, rushing into hidden tech, like, for example, MaxPax last game was able to get into 6 Gate Glaive Adepts, and Dark was pulled apart. A big reason for that is because MaxPax was committed with how many gateways he had, and he was essentially all in initially with how many Adepts he was committing. 6 Gate Glaive Adepts is very uncommon, I should also emphasize that, which was the build of MaxPax in the last game. Very uncommon, as Dark is not droning, he's link flooding. The proxy hatch has been shut down, and we are making nothing but Lings behind this Dark. It's all or nothing with a mass Ling flood, and MaxPax is still piecing this together, and now he does see the Lings. I feel like MaxPax needs to get the hell out of here. Sticking around is not what he really wants to do. Link speed, though, still on the way. There we go. Dark is going to be droning at least a little bit. MaxPax pushing on forward. Takes down the Zealot. Zealot does fall. Dark is droning up behind this. Link speed still on the way. But Dark is now saturating his bases. Whew. Earlier he had cut workers at 19, but it looks like that was just merely to defend against the counterattack. I'm loving the gas steal in the main. I'm loving that gas steal. As MaxPax is going to be pushing out. He's getting caught out, though. Or is he? Lings, they try to get surrounded. They do get one Adept, but there are plenty of Adepts to work with here. The Lings, they get annihilated. Dark still flooding Lings behind this as well. Still on 2 bases. Still doesn't have a third. Pushing across the map. Getting on top of that Stalker at least. Luring it out of position. But the Adepts, they do get into the mineral line. Drones are going down. Again, a very chaotic game state here for Dark, and MaxPax is coming out on top. As long as he avoids the surround, and I love the movement by MaxPax, just making sure he's always hugging the edge of the map, making sure he reduces that surface area. Even here, good positioning in the mineral line. The Lings are having a hard time engaging, MaxPax trading as efficiently as possible. Does shade away, once again, hugging the wall. And we will recall back home. And as the dust does settle, MaxPax has a very nice economic lead. Remember, this third base isn't even done for Dark. He's stuck on 2 bases, stuck on a lower drone count. MaxPax has done well for himself. And behind this, once again, Glaive Adepts. Now, we do have 2 gateways at the natural. We do have 2 gateways in the main, so it looks like 4 gate Glaive Adepts. But this is a more economic variation. This is what I assumed was going to be happening in game number 1, I think. I think it was referring to it in game 1. But essentially, MaxPax is going for a third, no Robo. No Robo to reinforce, which means no Warp Prism. No Warp Prism to, again, reinforce across the map. With the kind of saved resources, MaxPax is taking a third base. Lings are going to try and force a cancel, though. They do get on top of the Nexus. MaxPax out of position, but we do not manage to get the cancel, and we are doubling down Glaive Adepts alongside Dark Templar. I don't see Spores. Adepts, they shade into that natural base. They do chip away at those minerals, at those workers. 3 drones go down. Queens as well. And we're shading into the main. We do threaten a shade. And again, there's no Spore at the third. There's no Spore at the natural. There's no Spore in the main. Dark Templar may just end the game. It's gonna be close. Adepts, they still threaten and deny any kind of mining here. Dark, his economy in shambles. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the Glaive Adepts just wreaking havoc here. Getting even more drones. And again, a big reason as to why Dark's economy, even from the beginning, was quite low is because of the opener, and now Dark is going for a big counterattack. It's all or nothing. MaxPax, he's up 20 probes. He's got 20 workers on Dark. Dark is all in. The Dark Templar are revealed. And again, there's no detection, but thankfully they're revealed across the map. Spores are on the way. The Dark Templar, they're forced to reveal themselves defensively. Spores are on the way, Lair as well. But Dark wanted to all in, and now he has to retreat. Again, he cannot deal with those DTs. So Dark, he has to pull back home. And he's stuck at half the worker count of MaxPax. These Dark Templar, they may not have ended the game, in a sense, but they kind of have. Like, they may not have killed Dark, but they have kept MaxPax alive. And this is huge what MaxPax is getting away with. We have a 4 gateway explosion. It looks like 8 gate blink is on the way. So MaxPax is following this up with a what looks to be a 3 base all in. If MaxPax doesn't take his gases here at the 3rd, if he doesn't take a 4th, then Blink Stalkers are going to wreak havoc. Yeah, we cancel those gases. That's going to be a massive Stalker count here from MaxPax. This is a little bit old school, by the way. This is very much so like July of 2023. Or April. But okay, there's the Forge. Forge is on the way for +1. MaxPax is working on that next step. Lings and the Ravagers pushing on forward, trying to get us around here, trying to collapse on this army. And show us the Vials. Oh, again, Blink is done. We avoid those Vials. We retreat back to that natural base. The Lings are getting a lot of damage done, though. Stalkers do get picked off. Detection has arrived. But we're getting a big surround here. Does MaxPax have enough? It looks like he does. He does have enough. GG gets called. Dark cannot pull off this all in. Just a little bit too delayed. No economy behind it. And MaxPax will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Very well done here by MaxPax. Dark trying to make his early game shenanigans work, but honestly, it was hurting him more than helping him. Time and time again, whenever Dark went for the hatch block, he would just delay his spawning pool, delay his tech, delay his droning, and he'd have to react so hard to the counterattack of MaxPax, and yeah, Dark would just end up behind as a result in the early game, time and time again. So really good punishing from MaxPax. I should emphasize that. Just really good punishment from MaxPax. Making sure that Dark could not get away with that kind of opener. And yeah, Dark was struggling as a result. GG. Well played. Congratulations to MaxPax as he advances on to the grand finals to face off against his next opponent. To face off against the winner of Clem versus Estrella. Oh my god. I was not expecting this result. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Oh my god. I should announce this result as well. I should announce this result here as we scroll up and we have a look. Clem 2-0 Trigger and Estrella 2-0 Solar. That I was not expecting. Very well done here by Estrella, taking down Solar 2-0, and now he is mid-series against Clem. The winner of Estrella versus Clem faces off against MaxPax in the grand finals.